guys, welcome back. This is our first video and we are going to be making sauerkraut. So, my mom is actually doing this right now and this is her vlog, so yeah.
So we have, what do we have here? What do we need to make sauerkraut?
Okay, so we need lettuce.
Cabbage.
Cabbage.
We're using red cabbage. You could use green cabbage.
We got salt.
We need salt. That's kombu, I think is how it's pronounced.
Kombu.
It's seaweed, which we like to put in there. Gives the bacteria a little something extra. That's our crock. And we're not going to use the starter culture, but a lot of people like to use the starter culture.
Yeah. We have salt water.
We got salt water. So we're doing a really plain sauerkraut with just salt. We're not going to use the culture, but you could. We're going to do just salt and cabbage and water and a little bit of kombu, which I forgot to cut up. So
I'll show you what we're gonna end up with.
So what do we do first? First we need to add a little salt. We already cut up the cabbage.
This is what we're gonna make.
That's our purple sauerkraut.
Yep.
Okay, so we already cut up the cabbage, and now we need to add a little bit of salt. So we're gonna sprinkle just a little salt. And we're gonna have salt water too, but this is to get the juice to come out of the cabbage. So now that we got that, we can start pounding. So we use a wooden pounder. You could use a rolling pin if you don't have a pounder. The pounders come in different sizes, the big one that Charlotte has, or they have these little ones that can fit in a mason jar, so they're a good size as well. So we're gonna keep pounding and then come right back to you. Okay, so we're still pounding. You can see that the cabbage is starting to get moist. We want there to be a lot of liquid at the bottom of the bowl, and that's when we'll know that we're done pounding. So you just keep smushing it down until you have a lot of juice. It's good to have your pieces of cabbage about the same size. It's not required, but it makes a good consistent sauerkraut. And we're just going to keep pounding this for a little bit longer.
Just a minute, I'm trying to...
Okay, we're starting to get some juice. You'll see here it run down the bowl as we tilt it. Okay, we want to at least triple that. So we're going to keep going until we get more. We got to come up here and look. So we're still pounding, and when you pound, you can push pretty hard on the cabbage. Okay.
I'm showing the cabbage, Mom.
Okay, and now can you see the juice?
Yeah.
See how we got quite a bit of juice now. And we're going to add to it with the brine. So I think we have enough. Then we also have the sea vegetable, the kombu, which is seaweed. I cut it up after it was soaked in some water. So we're going to add that in there. And just gives a little extra minerals. Certainly isn't necessary, but I like to put a little bit. And we're just going to pound a little more. And then we're going to get it to fit in our crock. And we're going to see how much we made.
Rainbow crock.
This is our crock.
Rainbow crock.
Okay. Once you pause it, let me get a spoon.
Okay, so we just unpaused.
We're going to spoon our pounded cabbage into the crock. Now you can make a much bigger batch. You can make a much smaller batch. And you can use a mason jar. You can use those German style crocks, which this is a German style, but this one is handmade. Most of them are brown.
Mama, I don't think that's big enough.
Well, we're gonna pound it in the crock too.
Okay.
So we'll see if we can get everything in there.
Yeah, we'll see. If not, I think we'll put it in mason jars.
Yep, we can do that if we have extra for sure.
Yeah.
And then we can see both ways.
Mhm.
Pause it for a minute.
Pause.
Okay, so we ran out of room in our crock. You can show the crock is full. So we're going to add, I'm going to do a mason jar one so you get to see that too. So you can use whatever vessel you have, as long as you keep it under the brine, then it should turn out just fine. So pound that down.
Mom, you should tell him what brine is.
You tell them what brine is.
I don't.
What is brine?
I don't know.
You don't know? The brine is the salt water and the juice from pounding. So the salt water, we use 1 tablespoon of salt for every cup of water. And that's an estimate. If you like it less salty, you can use less. But the salt prevents the bad bacteria from growing. So we definitely want the salt in there. And then you can also use a starter culture if you like to. There's different thoughts out there. Some people like them and some people don't. So we're going to pound that in, and that one's probably going to be full. So you can get the edges.
And we have another mason jar went somewhere else right now.
We have a finished product.
Dada, get over here.
I think I can fit just a little bit more. We're going to pack it all the way. Oh, don't get the dog near the food. That's
She's full of
Bella.
good bacteria.
Yeah. She's full
Dad,
of
you know the video is playing.
Oh, not a big deal.
Okay, so this one's full. So they have these little glass, I don't know if you can see that very well, but glass cylinders that will fit right on top and hold the cabbage down from floating up. So you don't want any cabbage floating on the top.
Yeah, or it might get moldy or something.
That's right. So you need to keep your vegetable, and you can ferment other things. We can do other videos.
Yeah.
We're gonna-
Next time we might do something about animals or something.
Sure. So we're just gonna spoon, this is the brine, this is salt, 1 tablespoon per 1 cup. I just heated it on the stove and put it in a container. And we're gonna keep adding until we get liquid at the top, which it's starting to get there.
Mama, I would think 1 or 2 more.
Yep, I think that should do it. So now we have plenty of liquid. I'm gonna get the cabbages that floated up out. If anything floats to the top, you can just scoop it out.
Or just put it under again.
Yeah, sometimes you can. Sometimes it's a little more difficult than just scooping it out though. And you can be careful. I filled this probably a little too much, so I'm gonna have to be careful. It could overflow.
Yeah, once that happened, which I don't even remember.
So,
And just so you know, we did not vlog that because this is our very first one of this day.
so I'm gonna put the lid on that. They make airlocks. You could use an airlock if you like. And then these are gonna weigh down the cabbage in this crock. So we're gonna put those like that. I think I am gonna fill this one up though. Just a little bit more.
Mom,
and
you
the
know there's a
rest-
hole.
I know, it's supposed to have a hole that helps you get them out. Otherwise it'd be hard to get them in and out of there. So I don't want to waste any of this cabbage, so we'll just
Scoop that out and
See if
into
we
one
can-
of those.
see if I can fit it in there and hope it doesn't overflow on us. And if it does, that's okay. Or we could do 1 more mason jar. That was big cabbages, I guess. Go ahead and pause it for just a minute.
I just now did it.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, we got pretty much the rest of the cabbage in here. Just kept pounding it down.
Mhm.
You can't overpound it that I'm aware of. I get tired of pounding. Okay, and once you got it smushed down the best you can get, then we're gonna put Not too close, baby, people can't see. You can get above it, just not too close. Oh, I can't even get my weights in there. Got it stuck. Whoops. There we go. Okay. Definitely overfilled this crock, so we'll see how it goes. We might have an interesting experiment tomorrow. Okay.
Yep, and I was actually going to think about doing this tomorrow, and we'll show you how it does tomorrow.
Yep, we can show you how it is. It usually takes between 3 days and a week before we want to move it to the fridge.
Yep.
It's pretty warm here, so it's actually been cooler than it had been, but it's in the 80-degree temperatures. You can see the purple coming in already from the cabbage.
Yep.
And okay, so I am going to, you can see here, we're gonna put the lid on. You can see here there's a little crevice. I'm actually gonna put some salt water in there as well, and that'll keep bad bacteria out. It's called an airlock. The water keeps air from getting in, and the bacteria in the cabbage will produce carbon monoxide, which will release through the water, but other things can't get in. So there you have it. We have sauerkraut in a mason jar or in a crock. 2 different ways, and we'll keep you updated on how they do. Have a great day.
Bye.